Hey, what's going on? How y'all doing? So this is for my Pisces out there. So I just want to go ahead and say before I begin, as I shuffle up these cards, y'all are absolutely the best. Talking about all the zodiac signs over here on this channel, y'all are the best. Um, I know I don't necessarily say that as much as I probably should, but I just want to go ahead and say y'all are the best, regardless of whatever zodiac sign um, gets this, watches this video. I'm just saying it now early so we can get into it. So you have the Five of Cups, the Empress, the Knight of Wands. I'll talk with you a little bit later, all right? The Ace of Wands, the Moon, the Ten of Wands, the King of Swords, the Wheel of Fortune, and then you have the Page of Wands, and then last but not least, the Hermit. So for you Pisces, right? The opposite zodiac sign showed up. Hermit, which represents Virgo, which is the opposite sign of Pisces. So what I'm seeing here for you Pisces is the Five of Cups, the Empress, the Knight of Wands. This is really about how a lot of you Pisces, you've kind of put you Pisces would kind of move forward from the past and just the past relationships with people who, you know, act like they have all this value and all this purpose and all that other type of stuff, while at the same time, you ended up getting you ended up getting the a terrible deal out of the relationship or would be relationship, and yet you Pisces still decide to move forward with your lives. The Five of Cups, as a result of this, you know that these people are in the background regretting that you were gone and that you're not there in their lives anymore. Why? Because you know a lot of people like to talk a lot of cash stuff about Pisces, but at the same time though, is that here's the thing about Pisces, right? Because I said this before and people don't really hear what I'm saying. Some people are starting to understand what I'm saying. I don't put any of my emotional baggage onto these readings, right? Let me tell you something about Pisces. Unbiasedly, Pisces is a zodiac sign. Y'all are a zodiac sign where y'all essentially, y'all adapt to the situation. So a lot of times when you interact with a person that's low class, so to speak, basically trash, egregiously, they don't have any type of integrity whatsoever to them, then you'll adapt to that. If you don't know any better, you'll adapt to that, right? Now, do Pisces do some stuff? Absolutely, they do. So does everybody. So does Virgo. So does everybody. But at the same time, when a Pisces decides to get right, it is some real beautiful stuff, because a Pisces can surprise you at what it is that they know and act like they don't know. And it was a lot of, again, my mom's a Pisces, my sister's a Pisces. I'm not going to reveal too much of them about them, but these are two really intelligent individuals in my life, hard work. And I'm saying all that to say, and I know that when they have left people from the past, the Five of Cups, I know these people were regretting it. So the Empress and the Knight of Wands represents, as a result, this is a situation where you've left the past, you've got someone, you've left the past, and now these next four cards are talking about how you left the past, right? And how you left them. Now they represent the Five of Cups. They're grieving over the nonsense that they pulled. But the Empress, the Knight of Wands, the Ace of Wands, and the Moon just represents what happened. The the Empress and the Knight of Wands represents you met them, you started to get to know them, and of course they started to act like they were better than you. And ultimately, that's the mistake that a lot of people try to pull when it comes to Pisces, right? And I have a Pisces ascendant, and I'm a Virgo sun, Aries moon. And that's one of the things that people do. They jock for attention quite a bit. right? Where people always try to pull like they're the celebrity in the situation. And one thing about Pisces that you have to, that any cross watchers has to understand, or and you Pisces should understand, it doesn't do you any favors to jock for attention, nor do you Pisces jock for attention. Pisces is much so a group of people, or people who are born up underneath that zodiac sign, who are not necessarily the most starstruck people in the world, meaning that they don't get starstruck a lot of the times. So a lot of people think that coming over to you and trying to play the game and stuff like this of, do you know who I am and how important I am, and trying to overdo it doesn't really work, right? Because what happened? The Page of Wands and the Moon, when they tried to play that game and acted like they were flyer than you and they were so much better than you, guess what you did? You bounced. Ten of Wands, leaving them alone. And that's where the Five of Cups come into play, where these people really have issues with the idea of you leaving. You know why it is that they have issues? They have issues with it because they know that you Pisces were very good people to them and that they didn't know how to act, right? So if you're finding value within this reading, then it means it's time for you to come get a personal reading from me. There's a link in the comment section called the link tree. Click on it. It'll redirect you to my social media outlets and how you can support me, from the books that I have that are on Amazon, right? Because I am an author. My Instagram page in which you can follow me, my clothing store, right? Anything from pants, shirts, hoodies to coffee mugs, as well as my website, right? For private tarot readings. It'll say private tarot readings on it. On the website, you can check out my services, how much time. Uh, there's also a buy now button, as well as a cash app cash tag. And if you need help with any of that type of stuff, setting up some sort of private tarot reading, always feel free to contact me at Kareemspiritworks at yahoo.com, so I can actually go ahead and help you out with that. Thank you. So the Ten of Wands is that, so you left them alone. And now they have to feel that because you really weren't playing with them, but they acted like they didn't have any kind of common sense. The King of Swords and the Wheel of Fortune represents, as a result, the King of Swords is, and the Wheel of Fortune is that you're not playing any, or you shouldn't be. Some of you Pisces get it. Some of you Pisces don't get it, and that's why you're over here. Welcome, by the way. Welcome to all my new subscribers. But the King of Swords, the King of Swords and the Wheel of Fortune represents, you Pisces should understand something, if you don't already, that you're not playing anyone else's game. You should be playing your own. And what I mean when I say play games, let me put it in a context for you. What I mean when I say play games, I mean you should be at a point in your own life where you're above playing games, regardless of who you are, regardless of how much money you have, regardless of how much clout you have. You should be in a position where you should not be playing games. When people try to start playing games with you, you should not even participate in it, because you should be above the games. See, that's what gets the interest of a lot of people, because most people today are so busy playing games and trying to subjugate people. The Wheel of Fortune tried to subjugate people, that when someone isn't playing games with them and really is sincere, right? Really is honest, really is sincere. They're not they're not running a game. That's what gets people's attention, because it's refreshing, because so many people are trying to be players and all this other type of stuff. But the King of Swords and the Wheel of Fortune represents, you Pisces just need to understand to maintain your own decency by showing restraint. If someone is playing games with you, don't continue to invest in those people. Move away from them. Stay away from them, right? And then you have the Page of Wands and the Hermit. The Page of Wands is, yeah, like I said, continue to move forward. Now, the Hermit represents, you will continue to get some people who are dysfunctional. I'm not calling Virgo dysfunctional. I'm saying It's the principle is what I'm talking about. You will get people who are dysfunctional, but even though they are very much so dysfunctional, you do have to take into consideration that you're on a completely different timeline now. The Wheel of Fortune talks about it. The Wheel of Fortune is about how you're not on the hamster wheel. You're not on the ever revolving wheel of the rat race, right? Because a hamster is a form of a rodent. It's a species of a rodent, right? So is a rat. It's a rodent. So you're not on the hamster wheel. You're not on that ever revolving door of you meet people, they turn out to be amazing at first, and then it's like they completely do a nosedive. Their value completely plummets, not plummets, plummets. And the reason why is because they were acting at first to be these decent, upright people that were exciting. But what a lot of times people misconstrue exciting for is disingenuous and trashy and disrespectful. And people don't people don't really realize this, but you can have integrity and be exciting at the same time. Two things can be true at once, but most people don't think along those lines. Most people think you have to sacrifice between the two because most people are dating for excitement nowadays, right? But you can be exciting and at the same time have decency, right? And have some sort of upright character about yourself, you know? So this is New York. So let's clarify the moon. Eight of Swords, the Eight of Pentacles, the Nine of Wands, and the Two of Swords. Okay. So this is from their perspective. The Eight of Swords and the Eight of Pentacles represents they weren't necessarily sure why they weren't necessarily sure if they could really invest any of their time to be in a relationship with anyone in particular but you in specific, or anyone in general but you in particular and specifically, right? Because they're very skeptical of meeting other people. But the Knight of Wands and the Two of Swords represents how they should have taken that risk though, because the Nine of Wands represents the Nine of Wands and the Two of Swords represents they're so accustomed to the dysfunction of the dating pool. Somewhere along the line, somewhere in their life, they stop having decency themselves, and they're like, oh well, it's player be played. But then who you are and your decency and showing your decency by refraining, excuse me, from interacting with these people, it brought them back to a time where they remembered being decent, where they didn't have to do any of that. And they miss you. And the thing is that they're going to miss that as you continue to move forward. Now, let's clarify the Wheel of Fortune. To clarify, Four of Pentacles, Page of Swords, Page of Cups, the Two of Pentacles. Right. So the Four of Pentacles, the Ace of Swords, represents as a result of this, the Four of Pentacles and the Ace of Swords, excuse me, Page of Swords, is about how you need to be rock solid and very, very stern and steadfast and immovable or unmovable with your approach, just as the king sits on the king's throne. That's what you need to do. This is you. You need to understand what it is that you're looking for and don't budge as long as the standards are correct. Character, then you don't have to budge because you already have the correct things that you should be looking for. Most people ain't looking for decency and stuff like this. Most people cap. Most people act like they're looking for decency. But in actuality, their lack of decency within themselves and what they get with ends up getting them caught up is why. And then the page of swords and the page of cups represents, yeah, people are going to test you. People are going to get in your way. People are going to get on your nerves. I'm not even going to lie to you, Pisces. You know why? Because all of those people are trash. And most people, not all, but most people who say that they or act like they're so good people, if they get someone that was into them, they would ghost that person or play all sorts of games with these people in general, right? And specifically you. And the thing is that the Two of Pentacles is you should be looking for somebody where it's infinite, right? You see how it becomes infinite, right? Or an eight or infinity if you turn it on its side. The Two of Pentacles, right? A Lannister lion. A Lannister always pays its debts. Debts is what it is that this says. So in essence, you should be looking for someone that you can build with. You know, we talk about building and all that other type of stuff. But most people don't actually want to build a lot of the times because most people are so divisive. They get themselves caught up with, you know, trying to stunt and trying to do all this goofy stuff, Pisces acting like, they really built for it or whatnot. And it's like, yo, starting a family is a very good way to get rich. You get the love and you get the finances. But so many people don't want to start a family because they're so busy competing and all this other goofy stuff. But it's their decision to make. Comment on the video, like the video, subscribe to the YouTube channel, share the video. I'm trying to make my YouTube channel grow to 10,000 subscribers by the end of June. Help me out. Please smash that subscribe button, smash that like button, hit the notification bell, and set the notification bell to all so you can be notified whenever I drop these videos. Love y'all.